This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. Yeah, I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime. Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show. That's right, it's showtime. Just sitting back, kicking back, relaxed, as I always am. Mr. Relaxo Rancho. Rancho Relaxo. Not a care in the world. No problemo. If only you knew. How the hell is everybody doing? Take a minute, get everybody in. It's going to be a big show tonight. Big show. I want to remind everybody to share the show. Peter G Show is live on YouTube right now, most of the time. Next week it won't be. I'll tell you why about that later. Facebook's, LinkedIn, but also after that it goes to, by midnight of Pacific time, it'll go to BitChute, Rumble. It'll go to podcast. Just type up Peter G Show podcast. You can find it on many places, iTunes podcast, Listen Notes. It's in dozens of places now. It's getting picked up more and more. But anyway, how the hell is everybody? Wednesday evening, right here, just you and me and all my close friends. Speaking of close friends, let me bring in my cataclysmic show contributor, ladies and gentlemen, your friend and mine. Oops, I muted it. Oh boy. Oh well. Sorry. How you doing?
Namaste. It's the Peter G Show. Namaste.
It's the Peter G Show. That's right here. Well, I'm here and you're here.
How are you?
I'm well rested.
Good.
You know, I'm okay. You know, it's chilly again here in Southern California.
Burr.
Is it not?
Yes, it is. Burr.
I mean, I don't know about you, but it's been you know, I mean, for California, it's been windy, chilly. It felt like, you know, like you're up in the mountains somewhere. Head for the mountains.
It rained here. It never rains, rains in California.
We get what? That's a song. You should do that song.
But it rained, so namaste.
What's going on with you? Did you go visit your guru again?
No, I've been talking to my psychic reader.
Your psychotic reader? What?
It's a psycho. Yeah, psychotic.
Psychodoozy. Yeah.
Psycho.
Anyway, it's been chilly, but
yes, it has.
You know, I had to go pull a coat out of the closet again because I've been wearing just like a flannel shirt all the time on top of a t-shirt, and it was like, okay, last night I was out with my daughter, and I said it's time to pull out a coat. It was freaking windy cold out last night.
Yes, it was.
I mean, not that you'd know, because you're
in front of the fire, then you got to take your jacket off.
Well, there was no fire going on last night. We were busy. Anyway, all right. I gotta keep this train rolling. But that's about it. Anything on your end you want to get off your chest before we keep moving?
Namaste.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
You sure you don't want to check your list?
Checking it twice, but just always be kind and be very nice.
Oh boy,
yes.
Oh boy. Wait a minute. Stay in school, kids.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
hey, what?
It
was your birthday. How could I forget that? It was your birthday. It's your birthday. They say it's your birthday.
Wow. Funny you should mention that. It actually was my birthday.
Yes. How could I forget? Stay in school, kids. Don't do
it. Happens. It happens.
Okay,
Not a big deal.
okay.
We didn't do a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it was my birthday, and everybody's like, "Have a great day." And I'm very thankful. The birthday wishes. It took me. I've been going day and night trying to personally thank people, off of Facebooks and stuff like that, because it's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's not to me. I mean, every day to me needs to be a good day, and I am grateful for being on this planet. But every day. It's
a great day to be alive.
Yeah, we tried to emphasize. So my daughter and I celebrated my birthday. We celebrated it real quick, and it was just like in the morning we celebrated. Afternoon we went, and I was knighted on my birthday. I was crowned, yes, for my birthday, and it was like. Yes, 'tis I. I went to order, and they said, and they knighted me sirloin of beef. So, yeah. So real quick. So, and then my daughter was, my daughter's 16. And I'm glad that she remembers and all that. So this is what she basically got. This is what she got for my birthday. Okay, you ready? Pepsi?
I'm waiting in anticipation.
Okay, I don't know. I can't tell whether you're nodding out or okay. Here we go. This is what so she sent this to me. She sent this. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to your birthday. The person who is sending you this video wanted to let you know that they think that you are a spectacular human being and are happy that your continued existence on this earthly plane is continuing and commemorated today. But they didn't have enough money to get a personalized greeting, so they're using this generalized one. But they hope that you'll just know that they're thinking about you when they shared this to yourself for free. But it's the thought that counts. So happy birthday and stuff. Okay, bye.
And that was basically it. my daughter, she lives on TikTok, and she sent me that, and she goes, "Hope you like it. Hope you like it."
Gotta love her.
I know. You should get to know that guy. I think you two have a lot in common. Just saying.
I'm good.
All right, I'm moving on.
I'm good.
It was my birthday. My birthday's over, and
Happy
and
birthday.
they go, yeah. Well, thank you very much, and it's really great to be here.
Who loves you?
Here. I'm here all week. Try the veal. Anyway.
Here till 3.
Yeah.
Take your time.
That's it. All right, listen. Last week, real quick, because I'm going to get Bob on here in any minute. Last week we had Heather Lawrence, and she gave you a reading. So I'm going to be looking for you to see when your love life is going to pick up. That's it.
I'm looking for that too. I'm looking.
Oh, you're looking for that
Heather.
too.
Thank you, Miss Heather.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean,
much love.
I'm telling you, I'll make
great.
you a believer yet. I know you don't really kind of buy in completely to psychics, but there's some good ones out there, and I'm telling you, one of these days there's gonna be something that's gonna come across that's gonna really hit you, and you're gonna go, wow, I guess it can't. It is real.
Quite into
it. Well, I'm just saying that I'm going to be having some other ones in the future here down the road, and we'll get into some deeper stuff, not just what might happen. We'll get into what happened in the past. What happened?
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
So anyway, so we had Heather Lawrence on. Let me see what's going on right here. I'm sorry. It's we got hey Pete. Okay, I got anyway. Yeah.
Hi.
Paul says hey. My other Paul says it's Southern Fried Wednesday. It's a semi-Southern fried. When it comes to fried, maybe it's just Fried Wednesday. Right there, yours truly, folks.
All right,
it's Fried Wednesday. Okay. Anyway, all right. So, hey, next week I just want to remind you. So, put your, I need you to have your act together. But next week I'm going to have, where's it at? Officer, LAPD officer. Officer,
yes.
I'm going to have, yes. This
Roll
is next
call
week.
for
I'm going to
freedom. Roll call for freedom.
Well, let me tell you why. LAPD officer Michael McMahon.
Yes.
McMahon. He's going to be on the show. He does have this organization called Roll Call for Freedom, and it's all about. He's got a bunch. There's a bunch of people, healthcare workers, all these, first responders. Yeah, they do not want to get vaccinated. They just, they believe in personal health freedom and all that kind of stuff. And their jobs are have been all the LA city officials. I don't know if you're keeping up with LA, Pepsi, even though you're here. That you will be fired if there's been mandatory, or you'll be fired.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
And yeah, well, it is wrong. It's against the Constitution. And these guys have started an organization, and we're going to have him on next week to talk about it. More than likely, the show will not be on YouTube. We'll start off on YouTube, but switch off, unfortunately, because I do not want to get banned talking about this stuff again, and which they claim is.
We're just talking here. We're just talking.
Well, perhaps you can have a word with them, but I don't want to lose it all. And believe me when I tell you, there's going to be lots of shows that we're going to have to turn off of YouTube until YouTube starts being decent again and letting people have free speech. But until then, I'm being censored and targeted, and that's
just
the way
sharing
it goes.
information. Just sharing information, right?
You know what? Again, what you see what's going on in the news. They're banning everybody. If they don't agree with what you have to say, they ban you, and that's just the way.
Well, that's okay. So just sharing information, right? So let's just share information and talk about it, and right. So anyway, it's the Peter G Show.
Well, anyway, so yeah, well, I'm just waiting for Bob to pop on. And the thing is that next week, it's what's the date going to be? It'll be March 2nd. Let me get this on. March 2nd next week. LAPD officer Michael McMahon. He's got an organization called Roll Call for Freedom. He's going to talk about all the people being forced to get vaccinated and the ones that don't want to because of medical freedom of choice, and the Second Amendment in the Constitution, rights, all our first responders. You're not going to want to miss this show. He's got a lot of stuff that's going on. In fact, we booked him months ago. And I'm sure that there's even more to talk about right now as every day things are unfolding. So Wednesday, March 2nd, LAPD officer Michael McMahon, Roll Call for Freedom on this show right here. And that's basically it. So that's what's going to be happening. Pepsi, anything new going on with you this week? Because you've been awfully quiet. We haven't had a whole lot of time to talk.
No, everything's great. Just your birthday, man. They say.
Oh, yeah, my birthday. I'm waiting on Bob. I don't know where the hell Bob is. He was there a little while ago.
Well, Bob's a man about the East Coast, man.
Well,
around.
Right? You might end up being the new guest.
Oh Lord, man! Nobody wants.
Yeah, I know. I'm really hoping that Bob. Come back, Bob.
Yeah, dude. Come back. Come back.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Bob.
Right.
I don't want to start these stories without him, because I got a couple of things that we're going to talk about that are going to be doozy, and So
you were saying last week, and something was in your craw, so to speak, I guess.
Well, no, I got some things that are I got one thing that's really bothering me, and I'm a stickler about it. I don't know why I'm so pissed off about these things, but I am. And let me go over to see what people have been commenting, and I haven't had a chance to take a look. It's the MMA of talk. Pastor Ray is tuned in, and boy, could you use Pastor Ray, Pepsi. Oops, where'd you go? Sorry, let's tune into. Hey, I tuned you out. That's why. There you go. That's right.
Man, we got Dave Pastor Ray.
We got to work on your camera. There's a lot going on over there. I think your camera is stoned tonight, Pepsi. You're very fuzzy, but maybe it's you.
So am I. Maybe.
Yeah, let's see what else we got going on here. Just hey, Pete. Paul's watching. I don't know what happened to Bob. I hope Bob. Come in, Bob. It's Baltimore's own Mr. Bob Paff, who's going to be on any moment now. And
yes,
that's what I get for hurting. I know.
The infamous Mr. Bob Paff. East
normally
Coast.
I would have, East Coast Bob Paff, and and I've
Yeah.
been watching. He hasn't been on the show since December, and
Yeah.
and
Where's he been?
but no, it's just the way it works out. The last January we were off, and he's on the last show of the month, and this is the last show of February. February is a short month, and so he's going to be on now. But the thing is, I still watch him because he's very he's on Facebook a lot doing his thing, and I know what buttons pushes him, and what really gets under his skin from his side of the country that's going on. There's a big old mess going on over there too, in many ways, and so I'm going to get him on, and once he gets on, I'm telling you, I'll get him rolling because I'm rolling. Speaking of rolling,
I know you will. I know you will.
Yeah, rolling. You've been on your best behavior. I hear that they're working on deal. I hear you kind of got your own little deal going almost. You might be doing your own little show.
What?
Oh yeah, it's okay. Well, you don't want it let out of the bag yet. I'm sorry.
What would you be doing?
I thought you were going to be doing a horticulture show.
No.
Yeah.
So,
I got. I mean,
don't have to do.
If you're looking for titles, I heard you're going to be doing your own. Yeah.
Not here
Mr. Green
in Studio B, man. Don't have to do that in Studio B anymore.
No. But you'll have your own little. You can call it Mr. Green Thumb, or the Pot Hour.
Okay. Well, hey, man, it is what it is. But it's very therapeutic. Oh, it's very therapeutic.
All right. It's all therapeutic.
It's transcendental meditation.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
like
no,
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
If you do get your own, little segment of like, what?
Okay. Yes.
I'm just saying that. Have you thought of any good? Have you thought of any good titles?
Flying high. I didn't know. No, not really.
Flying high with Pepsi.
No, not really. But
No?
I'm still waiting. Where's the Learjet, Mr. Peter?
The king. The
Learjet.
Let me run a few by you.
The pilots came to pick me up, but I thought they were going to let me fly it.
Yeah, you're right.
But they told me that the Peter G show would not let me fly. They would not let me fly the Learjet. What's up with that?
They're weary of you even riding a bicycle.
So what's up with that?
Listen.
Hey, man, come on.
Listen. Hey, man.
You ruined my record, man.
Exactly.
So anyway.
I don't know where the hell he is. I lost him. He's way over. I hope he's all right. Yeah.
What?
Otherwise, this might be a real fast. Also, I don't want to do this without him. I really don't. But
it's okay.
I'll give him a couple. I'll give him a couple more minutes. And if I can't find him by then we'll start and pick up wherever we pick up. Mm-hmm. But how about the King of Weed?
How about him?
Or Weed King. Weed King.
How about it?
I mean, what do you? Is there anything like, catching your ear?
Don't know. Do you know something and I don't know?
Yeah, I'm just saying, just in case you get a segment that's like, a little segment that's take it away.
I don't know. Yeah.
How about
our new sponsor? We have a new weed sponsor. You know about that, right? Did you get the memo?
I did not.
Yes, we have a new sponsor, but you didn't get the memo.
No, I didn't. I'm listening.
Never mind. Well, no, so they legal didn't pass it to you, so that's no.
If it is, I can't mention it yet. I cannot mention it yet.
Correct.
Okay, well then let's not talk about anything yet.
Okay.
But let's talk about you. Enough about me. Let's talk about you.
No, let's talk about the exciting things that are coming to the Peter G show.
No, we cannot talk about any of that stuff right now. I just
Mum's the
can't.
word.
Mum's the word. It's all in-house right now. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, let's go.
Ooh,
Without further, we are very. But Bob, are you ready? Shake your head for me. I can't hear you. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The King of Baltimore, the Prince of, well, not the Pacific, the Atlantic, Mr. Seaside himself.
Ta-da! I think I gotta put these on.
Yes, please join me. I was getting to worry about you.
I was there.
You good? You weren't on the screen.
I was
Oh,
there.
no.
Wait,
Okay.
I came on
You're
at 5
here,
up.
you're here. Yep.
Let's go.
I haven't seen you. Honestly, I haven't seen you since just now. Don't understand that. Okay.
Wow.
Listen,
Okay.
it's good to see you. How's
Good
everything?
to see you. Everything's
Everything
good
good?
down here in the south.
In
Down
the
here
south.
In the south.
Tell everybody where you're at, what you're doing.
I am in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I came down for my son's lacrosse game. The Bears of Brown University played the Tar Heels of North Carolina.
Tar Heels of North Carolina, and you're hanging out.
Yeah, so the game was this afternoon. I came down on Tuesday, and I'm leaving tomorrow morning.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I haven't seen you. We have not done a show in several months because we were off in January. Your last show with me was in December, the last weekend of December, and now we've switched days and times, which hopefully will be a little easier on you. I know you've put up with me for 2 years almost.
It's our first Wednesday show, right? It's our first early show.
Yes, sir, it is. And so here's what's going on, and I'm glad because even though that you haven't been on the show, I'm still watching you. You're still watching me as we do our, stuff going on these.
Yeah, you've had some interesting shows.
It's funny what pushes people's buttons. Different interests, different people. You know what I mean? But
Correct.
You're back on now. The thing is, I've been watching you through, as I always do when I don't get to see you. I've been watching you. Things going on in your life that are pushing your buttons, that are upsetting you and things on Facebook. I got one thing I want to talk about that has been upsetting me, and then I'm going to push something and run it by you and see what you got to think about it.
Okay.
But you're kind of a sports fan, right? Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm not much of a sports fan, but I did watch the Super Bowl because I just did. And, I'll watch playoffs and things like that, but I don't have favorite teams. And, I just I'm busy. I got other things, but it's all good. So I'm watching the Super Bowl and the show is starting and it's the national anthem. Now, anybody who knows me, I've gotten people bitching at me and yelled at me about all these things, but I'm all hell bent about this taking a knee business. And I understand the freedom of speech, and this is what the United States is all about, and it's based on that. But here's my thing, and the people that disagree with me just don't hear me. Because one man said, I said, you can take a knee. I respect that. I respect your talking about, being able to protest. But the national anthem and the flag is the one thing that everybody died for, to give you that right and that privilege to do it. To me, it's just like, that is holy ground. Leave it alone. Take a knee another time. And people say, and I had one guy say to me, well, man, you don't understand. He says, the reason this is freedom is because of that. So they should be able to do it whenever they want. And I said, I get it. I totally get it. However, common sense. This is where the common sense comes in, and a little bit of, just sensibility. Just don't do it during the national anthem. Now, with that being said, did you by chance hear anything of anybody taking a knee or anything during the national anthem?
I didn't, and I didn't see that part of it. I was at a big fancy Super Bowl party, and I must have been, at the sushi bar or something when that whole thing happened. So I didn't see it.
Well, let me tell you, I happened to be watching during that part, and now after the game, I saw no news channel, not even a right side or a left side. Nobody said anything about anybody taking a knee. However, I watched it, and I saw they were not showing many of the players like as a whole. They were really staying off of that, and they do that. They do that a lot during games nowadays. They don't want any problems. But the thing is, I saw two players from the Rams on their knee, and if I'm wrong, I want to be wrong about this. I really do. But this is what I saw, and it was a glimpse. The camera flew by, and it was a glimpse, but it was twice. And then I was so freaked out about it because I can't believe that they're doing this shit. And you know, because everybody's bitching about saying like Eminem took a knee during halftime. It's like, fine, let him take a knee at halftime. He has that right. But I'm all hell bent about the national anthem and the flag, and people can jump on me all they want. I had somebody disown me on Facebook. She called me a bigot. And it's like, I'm the farthest. She would not listen to me. I invited her on the show. She just disconnected from me and unfriended me. They don't have an answer for this stuff. But here's now I'm going to show you, and you tell me. And you might not be able to see. And you know what? I went back because you can Google national anthem Super Bowl game and watch the video, and you can see it for yourself. But I got these pictures and I clipped them, and they're a little bit blurry because I had to blow them up. But you tell me, can you right in your I'm staring
Two
at
guys on the left,
right in the corner before the star. You see people, they're on their knee. I mean, they're not midgets. And this bothers me. And there wasn't a mention, not even Fox News. They said nobody took a knee. There was no problem. I would think somebody had to catch this. I cannot be the only, because I am not the brightest bulb in the bunch. But here's another picture of it from another angle right there.
Wow. Yeah.
And there they are. And I mean, I can see that there's people holding the flag, and I thought maybe they're blocking their torso because you can, you know, they're pulling on the fabric.
Yeah, true.
But they're clearly at the waist of the other players.
Well, especially the guy in the middle, the guy in between them, right?
Right, the guy in the middle standing up, and then then you got there's the picture again. That's a little cleaner, but I wish my pointer. I don't think my pointer works on the screen, but they're on their knee. And unless they're injured players, I don't know. I want somebody to explain this to me, but this bothers the shit out of me. And again, I'm all for protesting. I'm all for your right to freedom of speech, but I just think, because they also showed a clip of our U.S. soldiers and stuff listening to the game and watching at the same time too, and they're all standing at attention. Nobody's, just give that to them. Tell this to the families that are, who have family members with no legs, no arms, that are buried in our national cemeteries. Tell that to them. It's like just common sense. And that's all I got to say. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's my take on the whole deal.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it, so I see it there with the picture. I agree with you. I mean, I think it's about respect. The one word that you didn't use there was respect. I, interestingly enough, just came off of You See Me Post. I watched the Lincoln documentary on the History Channel. And Lincoln's by far my favorite president. He has been for a very long time. And I didn't think it was possible to like Lincoln, admire Lincoln more. But I actually had tears in my eyes last night. So it's interesting that you're talking about this, and you think about the men and women, more casualties in the Civil War than I think all the other wars combined. There were battles that were 50,000, 100,000, people who died. You had brother against brother and all of that. And you look at a state like Maryland, there were a lot of battles that were fought in Maryland. Antietam was one of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War, fought, I was going to say right here in Maryland, but I'm in North Carolina right now. So yeah, Peter, I think it comes to, it has to do with that. Listen, I think it's a big part of what's going on in this country is everybody's right to just say whatever they want to say, regardless of the consequences and regardless of other people's feelings. And I wasn't raised that way. You weren't raised that way. So I hear what you're saying. I agree. So it just got my goat again, because people just make it sound like I'm against the taking a knee thing. Look, if you want to do, here's the thing, Bob, and tell me if this doesn't make sense. If they're so adamant as players that they want to make a statement, why the hell don't they do it during the middle of the game? They could stop a play right in the middle of the play, and they should just do it. All cameras are on them to be seen by all. If they wanted to do it and really make a statement, why don't they do it then? But they won't. Yeah.
They'll get fired. They'll lose all the money they make. Yeah.
Well, look what happened with Colin Kaepernick, right? I mean, the guy, and sort of the word is that, did you read the report? What's her name? Michelle Tafoya, who was with NBC and is now with Fox, and with Al Michaels and Chris Collingsworth made some kind of comment that Kaepernick made a business decision and what he did, and she's been reamed, for that whole thing. But people say that, the NFL got together and they blocked him. I mean, that was it. His career was over, when he did that. So, listen, I'm old fashioned. I'm old, call me whatever, but a lot of it, Peter, if all this stuff was working, we wouldn't have all the issues that we are. I say it all the time. The people who are running the world, if they were the best and they were the brightest and they were maybe we should go for the kindest. And but then people are going to say that I love Jimmy Carter. So he was a kind person.
If they wanted to do it, I mean, business is business. You know what I mean? If you're getting paid all this money, business is business. Like, you're getting paid by these people to do this, play the game, play football, do your protesting on your time. You know, I mean, whatever, or do it if you're really that adamant and they're that strong about it. Then do it during the show, do it during the game, but not. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to go any more on this because I got other things now. Because unfortunately, we lost a lot of valuable time. I don't know. I'm telling you, you were not present on this system for some reason.
Weird.
Even if,
I could see me, and I could see me, and I could the mic check
hear me?
And all that. Could I? No, I couldn't hear anything. That's why I went off and.
I even got people commenting that, where's Bob? Where's Bob?
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
no, I signed on at 5 up.
Wow.
My son called me from Denver, and I said, I'm doing the radio show right now. I'll call you back in an hour. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Anyway, you're here. So this is the whole thing. I want to talk to you about something. I'm going to play a video, and then after the video, you're going to know exactly what this is all about. And I've been saving it for you. I mean, this. I'm preparing, but then you can tell me, where is it? Let's see. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be for you. This is you'll know exactly, and then we'll talk about it. So here you go.
If you plan on moving to or even visiting America anytime soon, and even if you currently live here, even you should know about these top 10 most worst and dangerous cities in America in 2022. At number 10, you got Jackson, Mississippi, and the city of Seoul is Mississippi's most populated city. And if you're lucky enough to have a job there, you don't make much, consider the fact that $19K a year is the average income. Where 30% of the residents live in poverty, and they have a 94% higher crime rate than the national average. Top that off with horrible schools that are testing 43% below the national average. Jackson, Mississippi is also known as the blackest city in America, and although they come in number 10 on this list, they come in number 1 when it comes to new HIV and STD diagnosis. At number 9, you got Memphis, Tennessee, home of Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash, and a crime rate 506% higher than the national average. Where they have more gang members than police officers and absolutely no jobs, but the cost of living is low, considering the fact nobody wants to live there anyway. At number 8, you got New Orleans, Louisiana, known for its Mardi Gras nightlife. Most people don't even realize that most parts of this city look like a third world country. Also known as the 8th blackest city in the nation and the 3rd highest in the country when it comes to new HIV and STD diagnosis. While visiting there, you got a 1 in 19 chance of being a victim of a property crime and or an assault. At number 7, you got Houston, Texas, with a crime rate 224% higher than national average. Houston is hands down the most dangerous city in Texas. At number 6, you got Chicago, Illinois, where they had over 800 homicides last year alone, which is the highest in the nation, but they have a crime rate of only 143% higher than the national average because they have almost 3 million people in the city alone. With a 22% poverty rate and 7% unemployment rate, Chicago is most definitely a rough city, but the ones that grew up here love it. At number 5, you got Birmingham, Alabama, with a violent crime rate 400% higher than the national average. It's no wonder why every convenience store has cages around the cashier there. At number 4, you got Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with over 1.5 million people, the city of brotherly love is not. The opioid epidemic has hit the city hard, and they're saying that some parts of Philly resemble an episode of Walking Dead. At number 3, you got Baltimore, Maryland, with a violent crime rate 379% higher than national average. You got a 1 in 17 chance of being a victim. You can blame the gangs and the substance abuse problem in this country for the problems there, and it's said that 90% of the street drugs within the city of Baltimore is laced with fentanyl. At number 2, you got Detroit, Michigan, and the Motor City will probably never be what it once was, considering the fact they're always in a constant state of crime. They're also known to be the 2nd blackest city in America, where they have an 83% black population. They also have a violent crime rate 462% higher than national average, which pretty much almost guarantees you'll be a victim of a crime while there. And the worst and most dangerous city in America is St. Louis, Missouri. And the gateway to the West is the kind of city you want to avoid unless it's necessary to go there. The violent crime rate there is 420% higher than national average, but they have made some improvements within the last year. If you play,
Wow.
Wow. There you go. Okay. Enough said.
Wow.
Your thoughts.
You know, I mean, Baltimore's number 3, right? I live in Baltimore.
Right.
You know, I'd like to tell you, I'm surprised. I'm appalled. I'm disgusted. I'm angry, frustrated, fed up, but I'm not at all, I'm not at all surprised. I mean, we're really in a very bad situation here. You and I talk about this once a month, and listen, Peter, I think this country is run by the elites. It's run by the top 1%. When I read the Wall Street Journal and other financial papers, it's all about pushing paper around. Private equity firms own so many hospitals in this country anymore. Medicine's run by big business, and even real estate. They're talking about now with the price of real estate. It just gotten crazy that it's no longer the American dream again. But what you're getting here is private equity people buying up real estate. So it's there's two Americas, there's two worlds. You've got all these people that just want to consume more money, and then you've got those people living on the low end, like this guy's talking about right now. It's really, I think everybody. I mean, I think. People are probably going to get upset with me here, and maybe you'll get upset with me what I'm going to say. Are you familiar with P.J. O'Rourke, who just died, who was a humorist, very bright guy, author, number of books? I admittedly was not terribly familiar with him, but I happened to be reading up on something. It was a commentary, I think, in the Wall Street Journal about him, and he's a conservative, by the way. But he was talking about Donald Trump. And so when I was interested, I became very fascinated by this. And I went onto YouTube and found some of his videos, and he was comparing Trump to a toddler. So my point there is, Biden's not the answer. It's atrocious what's going on in Washington, D.C. I watched Kamala Harris. I wish it were different. I really do, but it's not. And you're not hearing from those people that, where's the leadership? Where's the inspiration? All of those things. I posted something the other day because when I started talking about the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation and what Abraham Lincoln did for blacks in this country and for this country in general, uniting everybody. I said something that people forget, that slavery started in the South. The Ku Klux Klan started in the South. Joe Biden eulogized Robert Byrd, who was a Klansman, Strom Thurmond, who were, all these guys they were your racists. All of it started in the South. So, but I don't think Trump was the unifier. I know a lot of people think he was the greatest thing ever, and I usually remain quiet on that whole thing. I don't look at myself as a political commentator by any stretch of the imagination, but I think all these guys have failed us and continue to fail us.
But look at our cities, Bob. Look at what's going on. And I showed the 10 cities, but I know I've watched you show newspaper ad over newspaper, thing about the murder rates that are going on. The how many people have been murdered in Baltimore already?
The month of January. So we're well over 50, but the month of January was the worst month for homicides in 50 years, and we had 50 homicides in Baltimore in January alone. And so for the last 7 years, we've exceeded 300 homicides. The state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby, has now been indicted by the federal government. So she's going on trial. It was just announced, I think, in May. Her husband is the president of the city council. And she's been in office since 2015. Every year, and the issue there is she's just decided not to, what she classifies as petty crimes like possession of drugs or prostitution or things like that, because she just thinks, they clog up the court system or whatever. But crime has gone up every year since she's been in office, and she's in the headlines every day about her own personal stuff. So this is not about her. This is a commentary on what's going on all over the country. But Peter, these people don't live the same way that you and I do, and they don't live the same way that the average person does. They manipulate and they lie about the system. They're lawyers and doctors and hedge fund guys and private equity guys and whatever. And I was just reading an article about Macy's. Apparently Macy's was talking about going to more of an e-distribution model. And along with the brick and mortar, and they got so much pushback from investors because they want to increase the stock value. They want to return on the investment, and so that whole thing was kiboshed. People, you're naive if you're not thinking that, like I said, a handful of people, that top 1%, are running this country, and it's all about money. It's all about greed. Those people live in a bubble. They're not living like you and I. What did I say the other day? You saw I posted something about Biden made a comment that I feel your pain. Remember that thing? I posted that. And I said, you saw it. I try really hard to be balanced. I said, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. Trump can't feel your pain. He can't feel my pain. He can't feel the average person's pain. George Bush can't feel the pain. Obama can't feel the pain. I don't care it doesn't matter what your skin color is or your religion or your political affiliation like that. When you live in that world, listen, these are the people that go to the best and brightest Ivy League schools and have all these wonderful educations and access to celebrities and this and that and security detail and all that. How can you possibly know what it's like when Biden says, I feel your pain? Inflation's the highest been in what 40 years or something I'm seeing now. And it's expected to go up, by the way.
It's going up. Even telling my daughter,
it's going up.
It's everything is. We went to, again, we don't do fast food very much, but we went to Burger King the other day, and it was $23 for 2 regular Whopper meals, which is a Whopper, a small fry, and a small fry. $23.
Wow.
I mean, look. Let's talk about the cops. You have how many cops have been shot in your? Because I'm hearing a lot of cops being shot and or killed.
There's a number out there. I think and I posted something that, and somebody gave me a wrath about that, and said, well, how many people were killed or whatever. So I like to stay on point. Again, keep it apples to apples. So 76 or I don't know what the number is. The number is crazy. Remember that one day there were 8? What was it? Where was it? In Arizona or someplace that one day? Yeah, like 8 cops were shot. Listen, and I've said this before to anybody listening, there's good and bad in everything. There are good and bad cops. There are good and bad priests. There are good and bad doctors. There are good and bad lawyers. There's good and bad of everything, but you can't take a broad brush and wipe it across everybody and say, we can't support these guys, because by and large, first of all, it's an extremely difficult job and people are running away from it. Why would you want to do that? Exactly. But right. And so now they get the wrath of everybody. And so it's, and unfortunately, I think what you have is the politicians jump on that bandwagon. It's going to be an interesting year. The midterm elections are obviously this year, right? It's going to be, everybody's predicting a landslide for the Republicans because, and I've even read up on some moderate Democrats are upset because of that extreme progressive left wing, liberal wing of the Democratic Party. What Democratic strategists are saying is, they're allowing the Republicans to define what their message is because they're afraid to push back. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting what happens in this
crime
election.
In every city. In LA over here, people are getting beat up and hit and killed just by homeless people that have been released. People who've been arrested. This catch and release thing. They're getting it over there in New York, and we have our own George Gascon.
Well, we just had a. Yep, they had a horrific case in New York where this young girl was followed home. Obviously, she worked for Google, or she worked for some think tank or something like that. It was 4:00 in the morning. Walked home. A gentleman followed her. I call him a gentleman. Followed her into her apartment. Followed her. She didn't hear him. Followed her upstairs into her apartment and stabbed and killed her repeatedly with her own kitchen knife. And he, I think, had been released on probation, had just gotten out or something. So this is what you've got too. I'm hopeful. Let's talk about New York for a second. I just had breakfast with a friend today who is moved from New York. She originally lived in Texas. Her dream was to live in New York. She did. And now she's just moved to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And part of the reason she said, and this is a successful person, said it's so expensive, I just can't keep doing it. But we talked about, what the city's like. I have a lot of friends in New York. I love New York. But we were talking about Eric Adams, the new mayor of New York, and a former police officer, and hopefully he's a Democrat. and he's battling the Democratic legislature there to particularly this district attorney in New York who just wants to let everybody go.
Yep.
Here's the interesting thing too, and there people might yell at me too, and I see things, and I see it in Baltimore and all these other places, and what people were saying about bail and bail reform, they say that a disproportionate number of the criminals and people that don't have the money to post bail and all that kind of stuff are African American. And my thought, I'm not even going to say argument, but here's a point of thought. If we try to level the playing field and not make things about race or politics or religion or whatever, shouldn't we look at, well, if you commit the crime, that saying, if you can't do the time, don't commit the crime.
Right.
So even if things are disproportionate to a certain class of people, well, they're the people that are committing the crimes. So I'm confused with that. I really wish somebody would weigh in and say why that's a problem. If you're committing the crime and you happen to be Polish, and people say, well, Polish people seem to be disproportionately penalized or whatever for that, but the Polish people are committing all the crimes. Obviously, I'm being a little lighthearted here. Don't mean to pick on my Polish friends. Let's say the Irish. Irish. I'm one. So if you say all the Irish, it's not fair to Irish but are the Irish committing the crimes? You see what I'm saying? To me, Peter, that's a logical thing.
It's real logical, and that's a whole nother can of worms we'll open up on another day about these. Unfortunately, these blacks getting shot, and they're going, it's racial profiling, this and that. It's like, I just believe that in general, as a criminal, if you're a criminal and you run when they say stop, it's like you shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. They shouldn't have had to been coming after you in the first place. But that's a whole nother thing. Look, unfortunately, time is just going. Is there anything going on? What you want to talk about real quick? I've got about 3 to 5 minutes max, and we'll that's going on with you. That's I missed.
Well, no, I mean, I just think my heart's heavy. I mean, my thoughts and around losing my own son. So I think a lot of what I talk about, what I write about, and what I do, really, just so folks know who are listening to me, maybe have never heard me, really comes from personal experience. It comes from, I'll share this with your listeners here, folks that are watching us. Just pick up this book. Somebody was recommending it to me. Tony Dungy is a guy, he's a role model for so many people, and a Christian. And I was on the phone with my son. My son sent me a message and said, "Dad, hey, I went to church and left and felt, great," or whatever. I think the point of that whole thing, why am I bringing up Dungy's book? It's a daily devotional, is we really need to get back to the basics until we stop. I got into this debate with somebody about Baltimore the other day. Baltimore, I believe it's 68%, 70% African-American for the first time, because your guy listed as the third most dangerous city in the country. For the first time, we've dipped below 600,000 people. And so nothing is going to change in Baltimore. You could say the same thing in Detroit. You could say the same thing in St. Louis until we resolve these racial issues. And I just don't think you can say, well, it's disproportionate to. So if you look at the crime, Peter, in Baltimore, most of the crime is black on black. I can tell you, don't go to West Baltimore, don't go to South, don't go here, don't go there. If you're in certain other communities, not to say there isn't a chance that you're going to get killed, because now I think I was talking to a friend in Baltimore the other day who I'm not going to mention his name, but he said it was broad daylight and he was going to get his hair cut, broad daylight in downtown Baltimore. And this guy's in his late 30s. And he said, I found myself looking over my shoulder and looking all around, and he's now moved out of the city. So that's what's happening. I was born and raised in the city. I know we have 3 minutes and running out of time, but I don't even want to go into the city anymore. And I love so many things about it. And nobody's talking about that. It seems to me that, this current administration, it's really, I wish we had more time, because I was reading something too, that Putin is doing what he's doing because he sees Biden as weak.
Absolutely.
Right? So he's pushing that button. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, and we've got to stop allowing the media to isolate us and pit us against one another by saying, oh, it's all the Republicans and it's the Democrats and it is. Listen, bad is bad, good is good, and crazy is crazy, and you can't fix stupid, as people say. But why does that have to have a color or religion or all that kind of stuff. And we need to get away from that. If you're a bad guy, you're a bad guy.
Look, I get it, but unfortunately, it's going to be continued, and we'll, because this is endless. We can go on. I can tell you, we can have a 3-hour show. Tell people where they can find you if they want to talk to Bob Paff. Tell them where they can find you, how they can find you, and
well, you can go to my website. You can go to bobpaff.com. You can go to Amazon and find my book. You can Google me. You can So and on social media. Yeah, on social media.
You're all over the place. I get it. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Bob Paff, all over the place. Facebooks, LinkedIn's, you name it, Instagram. We're all over there. You want to talk to Bob Paff, and this will be continued. I will see you at the next East Meets West, God willing. And all right,
guys. Sorry about the confusion, because
you know what? It's okay. You're on the road with Bob Paff. It's hard. It's hard,
man.
You know,
signing off from Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the infamous Bob Paff right there. I'll see you later.
Hey, guys. Bye, Peter. Love you. Thank you.
Goodbye. Love you too. Goodbye.
Bye.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Paff. He claims he must have been, this high technology is really, anyway. But, all right, we're going to be, where did my cohort go there? It's Pepsi, you around?
Hey,
oh, good.
Mr. Bob Paff.
Hey, good.
Mr. Bob
Paff.
Yes.
Thanks for manning the helm in the back there. That's,
No.
Pushing all the wheels and cogs and
square. A lot of good stuff to say, Mr. Bob Paff.
Square peg, round hole.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. I hope your beer didn't get warm.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, the Peter G Show, man, is sponsoring my cold beer.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
Next week, man. Yes, the roll call for freedom next week.
Next week. Okay, let me tell them one more time. March 2nd, next week, Peter G Show, Life with Peter G. On this show, Michael McMahon from Roll Call for Freedom. He's an LAPD police officer who they have an organization. They're all together because they believe in their amendments to the constitutional rights and right for health care to do what they choose for their own health and not get fired for it. And he's going to be on the show next week. And that should be a pretty, I think we're going to be pushing the edge. And that show, I'm going to have to cut it off of YouTube next week. But we will start off in YouTube and urge you guys to check out the show either live or wait a few hours until it goes up onto the other platforms. But that's what we're doing next week. Anything else, Pepsi?
Yes, Mr. Peter G. Can we please thank Mr. Bob Paff again, and also that Tony Dungy read. It's a great read. It's very.
Do you have that book? You have that book?
Yes, I've read it. Yes, it's a very good read. Yes, excellent read. So thank you, Mr. Paff. Thank you.
Yeah, look at you, all
excellent read. Yes, it's a daily inspirational, and it's a very good read. So
is that what you're living by nowadays?
No, I don't live by that. No,
I don't know how
I live by the Peter G Show.
Oh, yes. God bless the Peter G Show. Yeah, we love you. All right, look, we're doing pretty good now on time. That's the thing. I wish we didn't lose him in the beginning, but here's the thing: when we're doing the show with Bob, it's run on because there's so much hell going on in the world right now that we can endlessly find a topic to pick on. And, I just chose 2 for this show. I just wanted to touch on my little gripe, and I let it go. People want to bitch at me all they want. You're more than welcome. But I explained my reasoning behind it. And if anybody wants to debate me on that or tell me, talk to me, otherwise they're more than welcome to. But I'm going to let it go after this because I bitched about it now for a week and a half.
Well, follow the money. That was his. That was if you're talking about, Mr. Collin, that was his own personal decision, right? So, he had $1 million contract, millions of dollars, anyway, and he walked away. So, it makes you think. Well, hey, I think he was paid off. He could have been paid off by somebody else, but who knows?
Who knows? I mean, it's all speculation. I don't even care about that, but I just think now, knowing what we know now and moving forward, there's and he did it during the game and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, you did it, you took it, but now just leave the national anthem alone. That's all I ask. Just leave the flag and leave that off. That's for our veterans, our soldiers, our freedom to have that right, but just leave that for the freedom part. to have that. You know what I mean?
It goes deeper than that.
I
And
know. Well, perhaps I'll let you explain it when we have a little more time, and I have a few beers myself. But it's like it'll be campfire, sitting by the campfire with Pepsi. yeah. It's like
but seriously,
it'd be gather around, children. Uncle Pepsi's got a story he wants to tell you.
Stay in school.
Okay. Listen, I want you to sit tight, and I'm going to just finish up real quick over here, and then we'll wrap it up off the air, and because I'll have to walk all the way over there to see you, and that's it. You are Hey, where are you going? Okay,
I'm going to see you. I'm coming to see you.
Okay, yeah. Man, you are. What's going on? I think we got a bad camera or something because something's up.
I think so.
Bad.
Yeah, we got a bad angle.
Well, call tech support. Yeah, that too. I don't know. I've seen. I don't know. Let's get close up. Let's get close up. Whoa! It's like, maybe it's blurry for a reason.
Psycho dudes.
All right, so look, I'm gonna finish up with everybody right here. Say goodbye to everybody till next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Anything special you want to leave them with?
Special, yes. Peter G loves you. It's the Peter G show.
It's the Peter G. You
can kind to everybody.
I know, but you could speak on your own behalf every once in a while. We don't.
Just be kind. Just be kind.
Just because we have electric buzzer shoved under your ass doesn't mean anything. Yeah. There you go. All right. That's it. All right, Pepsi. I'll see you in a little bit. Say good night. Oh boy.
Good night.
I think it's time to tune out. Hey. Holy moly. Yeah. All I can say is, folks, is you get what you pay for. But I love them. Anyway, it's a work in progress. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I wish we could have had Bob on a little longer. I don't know what the hell happened, but I'm over it. I'll rise above it. I'm a professional. Don't forget, March 2nd, Michael McMahon for LAPD. I'm pretty sure he's still a police officer because he has been threatened to be fired because of taking the stance of not wanting to be vaccinated. And, he just prefers to, choice in health picks. And he's going to be on next week. So tune in. It's going to be interesting on to where this is all going. I think a lot of things are lightening up, but we're going to find out. And as always, everybody, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Peter G Show. We'll see you next Wednesday. Like clockwork, you can also catch us on podcast. For those of you who can't watch, you can take us on the road with you in your ear while you're driving. You can listen while you're at work or while you're out drinking. Just Google up Peter G Show podcast, and it'll come up in many different forms and fashions. There's many shows up there. We're accumulating them now. We're on a roll. But other than that, I appreciate those who do tune in live and watch, and those who watch even after this not live because it's on demand. You can catch it anywhere. But please, share. There's lots of things going on with this show. The show is growing, believe it or not. There's a lot of good stuff. So, as always, I'm going to leave you with this, as I do every week. Just be kind, as Pepsi said. Because we kind of share the same mantra. You don't have to take any shit from people, but you don't have to be an ass either. Find that fine line. Take a breath before you speak. Take it from one who knows. Think before you speak. And just be cool. We're all people. And it's really sad how we're so divided amongst family on, and I got friends that say, man, you've changed. It's like, I haven't really changed. It's just, we've never used to have to talk about this stuff. So now we do have to talk about it because it's gotten that bad. But anyway, I love you all. So my name is Peter G. See you next week, like clockwork. And as always, love you guys. Peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad.